Mike Gallagher. How are we all doing, South Carolina? All right. I am a presidential candidate. I need you to guess who I am. Woo, 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 woo. You cannot make this stuff up. Oh my, is this a great year? Are you excited that in November we have an opportunity to change America and take it back and transform it back to what it was, right? You know, I watch Obama. He's the president. Not much longer. This is a great crowd. I'm loving this. All right, so I watch it. You know, he's still 7 years in blaming Bush. I've never seen anything like it in my life. For example, and only liberals can do this. Knick-knack, paddywhack, you give your dog a bone. You're a dumb liberal. You give the dog a bone. You take the bone back. And the dog bites you. It's not your fault you're a dumb liberal. It's not the dog's fault that he wants his bone that you gave him. Who does the president still blame? Bush, right? Now, if the dog bites, your bee stings. Say, you know what it's like. You have wasp nests down here in South Carolina, right? All right. You're a dumb liberal. You take a baseball bat. You, instead of hiring the exterminator like every smart person, conservative, you'd hire an exterminator. And you take the baseball bat and you knock the wasp nest down, and the bee stings you. It's not your fault. It's not the wasp's fault. Whose fault is it? I see some of you have a very big smile on your face right now. And that's because you've been drinking heavily tonight. How many's had Jack Daniels tonight? Budweiser tonight? Vodka martinis tonight? When you wake up tomorrow and you have a massive headache, I want to tell you, according to Obama, it's not your fault. It's not Jack Daniels' fault. It's not Budweiser's fault. Whose fault is it? You were expecting something totally different here tonight, weren't you? Now, by the way, I'm looking out at this crowd. Guys, big hands, beautiful women of South Carolina. We love them, right? Without them, we are lost. Women, I have this ability. I'm looking out in the crowd and I can see many of you are pregnant. It's not your fault. It's not his fault either. Whose fault is it? No! Hannity, it's me, Bill Clinton. I know Hillary's running. I can't blame Bush for that sucker, Y'all having a good time tonight? So the great one, y'all love my buddy Mark Levin? I am so proud of Mark Levin. You know, there's a real story. I had to make him go into radio. I made him fill in for me on my radio show. I don't know what to do with those stupid break things that you do. What do you do with that? I'll say it. Nobody else will say it. I'll say it. And that's what I'm talking about. You big dope. You little creep. Get off my phone, you creep. Yeah. We have any Rush Limbaugh fans here? You just heard his brother David.
Sean Hannity wouldn't be up here tonight if it wasn't for me.
What a national treasure, right? Wow. You know, I don't want to get, you have some wonderful people here. I know you got presidential candidates here, and I'm so glad. This whole arena's full. I'm looking at this. This is such a beautiful sight that you all care so much and love your country so much. You're looking to see if I'm lying, right? You see? You know, and I know that there are people in this room that some of you, I know a lot of people in this room support Ted Cruz. All right. Good night, South Carolina. No, I'm kidding. Ted's backstage with his father. He's coming out later to see you. And I know the other candidates. Listen, at the end of the day, I made a decision on my radio and TV shows that I am going to give you as much access to all the candidates throughout this entire process because I have faith and hope and belief and confidence in the American people that you're going to make a decision. And, right? I really do. And I just put them on the air, and I give them the microphone, and I ask them questions about the economy and about ISIS and about immigration and about all the issues that matter. Here's what I worry about, and here's why this election matters, and here's why I'm glad to be here tonight. And I'm not going to speak a long time. I just want to give you a few points. I'm a father. I have a 17-year-old son. By the way, 17 is a brutal age. Son, how was school? Did you learn anything? No. How was your day? My daughter is just the opposite. She's 14. Daddy, I love you. I'm like, son, see, I'm not Satan. I'm a good guy. Anyway, but here's what I think about. I see young people. How old are you, darling? You're 18. I care about your future. I see this young. How old are you, honey? 14. And by the way, I'm not Bill Clinton. I'm not a creep. Okay? I could see Bill Clinton up here. Hey, Pumpkin, I'll give you a tour backstage in a minute, you know. I know you guys were expecting something totally different. But think about this, you know, and this is why I'm glad to see this arena 90% full. Because 94.5 million Americans, I say it every day on my radio and TV show, 94.5 million of our fellow citizens are now out of the labor force. And those liars in Washington with their phony Washington calculators tell you the unemployment rate is down to 4.9%. Well, only in Washington can you get away with not counting the chronically long-term unemployed. Those are 94.5 million of our friends, our neighbors, our fellow citizens that need jobs, that want to work and want to get ahead and want their piece of the American dream. We've got 46 million Americans that have been on food stamps for 40 months or longer. We've got 50 million Americans in poverty. Look at black teenage unemployment is now at 50%. You know, I was 8 years old, I delivered papers. I was 12 years old, I was a dishwasher. I was 13, I was a cook. I was 14, I was a busboy. I was 15, I was a waiter. I was 17, I was a bartender drinking way too much. I framed houses, I did roofing, I laid tile, I painted houses. I did all this for 2 decades of my life. No. Now, if I didn't have all those jobs, I wouldn't be here tonight. I wouldn't be the person I am today. And all of you, I bet, in this room have a similar story to tell. My story's not unique. We all work hard because we're Americans. We don't want the government to give us stuff. We want the freedom to choose and have the opportunity and the ladder to success. Barack Hussein Obama, remember he said $9 trillion in debt? That's irresponsible. That's unpatriotic. He's going to leave office with these young ladies in the front row and these young men back there staring at you. They're going to leave office accumulating more debt than every other president before him combined. I don't hear the media asking questions about that. So we've got an economy in shambles. We got people out of work. We've got record debt and deficits. We got 120 trillion in unfunded liabilities. And I haven't even mentioned what's happened in the world. We have open borders. It's time to secure America's borders. From a national security standpoint, I've been down to the borders 12 times. 12 times for Fox News. I've been on a helicopter. I nearly fell off a horse. I was on horseback. An all-terrain vehicle. I've been on boats. I've been out walking. I've seen gang members arrested. I've seen tunnels dug literally from Mexico up into an office building under the floor. and I saw a drug warehouse nearly as big as the floor of this room, going up to a ceiling about that high, full of confiscated drugs, brought in to your children. So we need to secure it to prevent ISIS from coming in. And then think of it from an economic point of view. 94.5 million Americans out of work, and then we have unskilled labor crossing the border. Well, what does that mean? Americans out of work now have to compete with people that don't respect our laws and sovereignty, right? And it drives wages down. Do you have a question? Oh, okay. Yes, class. Did I mention that this president gave $150 billion to the #1 state sponsor of terror? That he gave them the right to spin centrifuges, the right to build missile defense with Vladimir Putin in Russia, the right for 24 days inspections. You know, we have real serious problems in the world. We have a president that so politicized Iraq after our brave soldiers won Ramadi, won Mosul, won Fallujah, won Tikrit. Our brave soldiers shed their blood, they risked their lives, and we end up giving it to ISIS. Now, this is how we save America. This, to me, is about early 2014, I put together what I believe will solve our problems. On the economy, it's real simple. You don't spend more money than you take in, right? We owe it to our children and grandchildren to balance the budget. You know, Trump says we want to make America great again. Well, let's live within our means and stop robbing from future generations, right? One way you can do it is you cut 1 penny. If any of your families were short on money, what was the first thing you do? You'd cut spending. But every year, Washington builds in 8% baseline budgeting. All we got to do is you cut 1 penny out of every dollar Washington spends every year for 8 years, and you balance your budget. We have trillions of dollars of money that corporations won't bring back because of outrageous confiscatory taxation. Almost all the Republican candidates have a plan that repatriated money will be brought to the United States. So I'm not talking about millions or billions. I'm talking about trillions. And then they can invest then in manufacturing centers and factories and building new companies. That's going to create jobs. That's going to get people off the unemployment rolls. That's going to get the labor force participation rate, you know, lower instead of higher. And then, of course, that adds to the tax base, fewer people dependent on government. Simple principles. You control your borders for national security reasons. You balance your budget. You give choice in education. These are simple things, right? Right? We have a problem with radical, I know Obama won't say it. They're not man-caused disasters. They're not overseas contingency operations. It's radical Islamic terrorism. They are at war with us, and I say we need to be at war with them, and we need a president. Let me combine. The top 2 candidates are Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Oh, relax. Can we give that guy that bottle of Jack Daniels you guys are passing around? No. Ted Cruz says we're going to carpet bomb ISIS. And Donald Trump says we're going to bomb the shit out of ISIS. So I'd like to combine the two and say we're going to carpet bomb the shit out of ISIS. Does that work? If we do these basic things, conservative principles work. Obama has destroyed the economy, he's destroyed hope, he's destroyed opportunity for every American. It's time to take America back, transform America into an opportunity freedom society where liberty reigns and statism, liberalism, socialism, redistribution goes away, and this is what this election is all about. So my challenge to you tonight is this. I don't really care in the primary who you vote for, because I know you're going to search your heart and you're going to pray about it. By the way, we're still in America. You can still pray. It's not a public school, right? and we're going to have a candidate. And I don't want to wake up the morning after Election Day and say the words, President-elect Hillary. Hillary. Rodham Clinton. I want Democrats to wake up the morning after Election Day crying, knowing that their years of socialism and American weakness are over. My challenge to all of you, with every single breath you have from now until November and Election Day, I ask you put your heart, your spirit, your soul, every bit of strength you have, and you're doing it for your children and your grandchildren so that America will once again be that great, shining city on a hill that Reagan spoke about. I love you, South Carolina. God bless you all.